Okay, my name is Diana Circo. I'm Superintendent of the Aspen School District. I've been an educator in Colorado for 35 years. Okay, I think there are many challenges for the world of education today, and part of it are a complexion of our society, and part of it are really part of a very healthy trend that has happened is that we used to measure success as group success, and really looking at how did we do as a group, what was our percentile ranking as it compared to other schools across the nation or other districts. And a very positive trend in education is that we've taken it past the group dynamics and the group scores down to individual students' scores. But boy, that really ups the ante and really raises the accountability. It's definitely the right thing to do, but it's a huge challenge to say, not only do we want to make sure that group is successful, but we want to make sure that we measure that success by what happens with each and every child in the system, so that there really isn't anybody who's left out of the process, and that all kids get the good stuff that they're supposed to get as a result of a high quality education. Well, I think one of the things that's happened as a result of that trend in education around individual student needs is really that accountability that goes with that, to really say, how can you measure that progress? What is it you're doing that's working? What is it you're doing that's not working? And I think that part of being able to accomplish what you need to is facing your own limitations and facing what paradigms you've had that have limited what success you might be able to have with all children. And so I think the basic, structure of Best Year Yet, it lends itself beautifully to that. The first time I ever saw it, I thought, this is it. I mean, this is exactly, if I was going to sit down and create a group of questions associated with educational goal setting and monitoring and that whole assessment of your own progress, it would be those questions. So it really does provide a great, like I said, structure for examining our actions, making mid-course corrections, so that we don't wait till next August when all of our scores come in to say, man, we blew it somewhere around March with this kid. And so it's giving you that ongoing evaluation of your progress and the direction you're saying, and then those mid-course corrections wherever you need to ensure that any time isn't lost with children. Because if they lose a year, that's a year they never get back. Well, I think that part of every superintendent's role, or any principal, or anybody who's trying to evaluate the process of or the progress of a system, you have to really look at each and every component and see what the impact of each of those components are. What are the consequences and what are the unintended consequences of any of our actions? And I think Best Year Yet for Education provides a vehicle for that in real concrete terms for people. So as you're looking at the goals and looking at the different, as you're measuring that progress on a regular basis, then it gives you a great context for the discussion and a clear and concise method of being able to address what the concerns are and then articulate where do you go from here. My vision is that, education is a very goal-driven process in this day and age. It has a lot of accountability that goes with it, which is a very healthy piece. And we do know what gets measured gets done. And this provides a real constructive and kind of non-threatening vehicle for those conversations, but at the same time, a clear direction that says, this is really what it's about. You've got to be able to articulate whether we're making the growth we want to or not, and it is what it is. The numbers don't lie. And so I think it's sort of a non-threatening way to do that, in that it's a group process together where you're collectively saying, here's where we're trying to go, this is what we're trying to accomplish, how can we use all of our energies to move in that direction? And then, by the way, let's look and measure our progress over time, because it's also very exciting and creates a lot of energy and enthusiasm and momentum over time for people to say, gosh, here's where we are in February, here's where we were back in September and in October, look at the strides we're making, because that's that momentum that you build over time so that you get that, wonderful direction and people can build on their successes for the future. Every state has a process for accountability, and I think that we'll only see that increase over time. This can be adapted beautifully to that, so that a person isn't trying to create their own structure every time, but rather can adapt this one to meet their needs. And I think that's a great time saver for everybody.